In 2025, remember this: not everything in your life is meant to be shared. Some things lose their strength the very moment you expose them. Some blessings slip away the second you put them on display. And some dreams don't die because they were impossible, but because you told the wrong people too soon. You see, privacy is not the same as secrecy. Privacy is protection. And in a world where everyone seems eager to broadcast every detail of their lives, one of the strongest moves you can make is to keep certain things hidden. I've come to realize that your life is like a garden. If you leave it open for anyone to trample through, the flowers won't bloom. But if you protect it, water it quietly, and allow it to grow in silence, one day it will bear fruit for all to see, and no one will be able to claim the credit but you. Not every seed needs an audience. Not every chapter needs an announcement. Not every dream needs someone else's validation. The truth is, when you reveal too much too soon, you invite doubts, jealousy, and opinions that you were never meant to carry. And sometimes those voices grow louder than your own faith. So today, let me remind you of 7 things you must keep private in 2025 if you truly want to grow, succeed, and protect your peace. 7 areas of life that deserve your silence far more than the spotlight. Because not everything sacred is meant for display. Some things are meant to be guarded, nurtured, and revealed only when the timing is right. One of the first areas you must keep private in 2025 is your financial plans. How you budget, where you invest, what you're saving toward. These are not details the whole world needs to know. The moment you share them too openly, you invite voices that don't belong in your journey. And those voices can confuse you, discourage you, even sabotage the discipline you've been building. I've seen it happen. Someone gets excited and says, "This year, I'm going to save aggressively and build an emergency fund." Out of that excitement, they share it with friends or family. And suddenly, everyone has something to say. "Why are you saving so much? You should enjoy life." Or what if you die tomorrow? What happens to your money then? Worse, some people start borrowing from them because they now know they're saving. Instead of encouragement, they get pressure. Instead of support, they face distractions. And many end up quitting, not because they lack discipline, but because they shared too soon with the wrong people. Your financial goals are like seeds. You don't dig them up every day to show the world. You keep them buried, hidden, watered in silence, until one day they rise into a tree no one can deny. That's the power of privacy. It protects the process until the fruit is ready. And let's be honest, money is emotional. The moment you tell people your plans, you also invite comparison. If you say, "I'm investing in stocks," someone will quickly remind you how their cousin lost money. If you say, "I'm saving for a business," someone will tell you about someone else who failed. If you say, "I want to retire early," some will laugh and say it's impossible. Their fears become your fears. Their doubts become your doubts. And suddenly, you abandon a plan that could have changed your life. So my advice is this: guard your financial plans like treasure. You don't need to post about every budget you draft or every investment you make. Let your results do the talking. Let people be surprised years later when you buy your home debt free, retire early, or send your children to school without struggle. Success revealed too early attracts doubt. But success revealed at the right time demands respect. When I first started out, I didn't talk about where I was putting my money. I didn't explain why I was living simply while others were spending carelessly. But years later, the fruit became visible. Not because I shouted about it, but because I stayed consistent in silence. That experience taught me something powerful. Privacy is not hiding. Privacy is protecting. Privacy is honoring your dreams enough to let them grow quietly before the world sees them. So as you step into 2025, keep your financial plans close. Share them only with people who truly deserve to hear them. Mentors who can guide you, partners who walk alongside you, or family members who genuinely want the best for you. But for the rest of the world, let them see the results, not the process. Because the more private you keep your plans, the stronger they become. And the more you protect your goals, the quicker they grow into reality. Now, speaking of privacy, there's another area that deserves your protection. Not your money this time, but your family struggles. Because not every battle within your home needs to be shown to the world. Some things are meant to be solved in love, not exposed for gossip. Another thing you must keep private in 2025 are the struggles within your family. Not every fight, not every misunderstanding, not every wound in your home needs to be broadcast. Because when you open your doors too wide and let outsiders peek in, you're not just exposing your pain, you're also inviting judgment, gossip, and opinions that often make things worse, not better. Families are like gardens. Every family has weeds. Every family has storms. Every family has dry seasons. But healing doesn't happen when outsiders walk in and trample around. Healing happens when the family itself pulls out the weeds, waters the roots, and nurtures the soil in private. Outsiders will rarely see the full picture. They'll take one scene, one story, one moment, and build an entire judgment around it. And when you let that happen, your family becomes a headline instead of a home. I've seen people run to social media after every fight. A post about how unfair life is. A story about how a parent or sibling doesn't understand. And sure, maybe they get some sympathy, a few people saying, "Stay strong." But what happens after? The fight isn't solved. The wound isn't healed. Instead, it's now exposed to the world, where people can poke at it, replay it, or even use it against you later. What could have been a private wound with a chance to heal becomes a public scar that never fades. Let me be real with you. When my own family went through seasons of tension, we learned the hard way that not everyone needed to know. When we kept it among ourselves, prayed about it, talked it through in private, and gave each other grace, healing came quicker. But when too many outsiders got involved, the problem grew larger than it ever was. Suddenly, it wasn't even about solving the issue anymore. It became about protecting pride from outside opinions. And that's the danger of exposing family struggles to too many eyes. You stop focusing on healing, and you start focusing on performing. So here's my advice: if your family is struggling, protect it. Work on it quietly. Seek help from people who are trustworthy, people who want to guide, not gossip. Pray together, talk together, cry together. A family that can face battles in private, but still stay united in public, is a family that survives storms. But a family that broadcasts every storm invites the winds to blow even harder. This doesn't mean you should pretend everything is perfect. It means you respect the sacredness of family. It means you choose to fix the cracks in the foundation instead of painting the walls for the neighbors to admire. It means you believe your family deserves healing, not headlines. And let me tell you clearly, outsiders don't always want to see your family restored. Some are only curious. Some are entertained by your pain. Some will use your struggles to make themselves feel stronger. Don't give them that power. Don't give them your story. Protect it. Heal it. And when healing comes, let the world see not your pain, but your victory. In 2025, choose privacy for your family. Because some of the most powerful testimonies aren't the ones shared while the wound is fresh, but the ones revealed after the scar has healed. And when that day comes, you'll stand stronger, not because you shouted your pain, but because you protected it in silence. And just like your family struggles, there's another area of life that demands privacy, your next big move. Dreams and plans are like fragile seedlings. If you announce them too early, you risk crushing them before they even have the chance to grow. The third thing you must keep private in 2025 is your next step, your dreams, your goals, your strategies. Not everyone deserves to hear them before they're ready. Some dreams die not because they were impossible, but because they were exposed too early to people who didn't believe. And sometimes, those voices echo louder than your own faith. Think of your next move like a seed. When you first plant it, it's fragile. It needs quiet. It needs protection. It needs the safety of the soil. If you dig it up too soon to show it off, it won't survive. In the same way, when you announce your plans before they're grounded in action, you expose them to the storms of doubt, criticism, and envy. And that can suffocate your progress before it even begins. I remember when someone close to me was so excited about starting a business. They shared it with everyone. And instead of encouragement, they heard, businesses always fail. You'll waste your money. Do you even know what you're doing? Soon, their excitement faded. Not because they stopped believing in the dream, but because others drowned it with fear instead of watering it with faith. And that's why I always say, never expose your blueprint until the building is already standing. Your next move doesn't need applause. It needs discipline. It doesn't need permission. What it truly needs is consistency. Let your actions carry the weight before your words ever do. Let the results be the surprise, not the intentions you speak about. Because when you keep your plans to yourself, you give your mind the gift of focus. And focus is the real currency of success. I've noticed something over time. The ones who shout the loudest about what they're going to do often, and up the quietest when it comes to showing results. But the ones who move in silence, who stay committed behind the scenes, who guard their next steps, those are the people who end up shocking the world when the work is finished. Privacy protects progress. Privacy protects your energy. Privacy protects your dreams. So in 2025, hold your next step close to your heart. Don't give in to the pressure to post every detail. Don't feel you must explain your strategy to everyone. Build in silence, work in silence, grow in silence. And when the right time comes, when the fruit is ripe, when the victory can't be denied, let the results speak for you. Because there is true power in mystery. There is deep strength in silence. And there is undeniable victory in privacy. Guard your next step, let it grow in secret, and allow the world to see only the finished masterpiece when it's ready. And just like your plans, there is another part of your life that becomes far more meaningful when it's kept private. Your acts of kindness. Because genuine kindness does not require a spotlight. It only requires a heart. One of the most important things to keep private in 2025 is the kindness you give. In a world where everything is posted, recorded, and shared, we've slowly lost the purity of giving. We've turned compassion into content, service into self-promotion, kindness into performance. But the truth is, the most powerful acts of kindness are the ones only you and God know about. Why? Because the very moment you make your kindness about public approval, the reward changes. Instead of truly touching a life, you're feeding your image. Instead of planting a seed of love, you're planting a seed of pride. People may clap for you, they may like or comment, but that applause fades away quickly. Yet the kindness done in silence, the one no one sees, that leaves a permanent mark on the soul of the one you helped. I've seen it many times. People posting about feeding the poor, helping a struggling friend, or donating money. And yes, maybe part of their intention is to inspire others. But deep down, sometimes it's also about validation, about saying, look at me, I'm good. But real kindness doesn't need to be seen. True kindness is complete the moment it touches the person in need, not the moment it gets posted online. Think about this. The sun rises every single day and gives us light, but it doesn't announce it. Trees provide shade, oxygen, and beauty, but they don't brag. The rain nourishes the land, yet it doesn't demand applause. The most life Giving acts in nature happen quietly, consistently, without needing recognition. And that's exactly how your kindness should look. Quiet, steady life, giving, not looking for attention. I remember once helping someone who was walking through a very hard season. I didn't tell a soul. I didn't take photos. I didn't share it. Years later, that person told me, "I'll never forget what you did when no one else knew." That moment was worth more than 1,000 likes, more than any applause, because it was real. It wasn't about me. It was about them. And that's the beauty of kindness in silence. So here's my advice. In 2025, treat your kindness as sacred. Let it be something only between you and your Creator. Because when it's private, it carries a deeper weight. You don't need to announce, "I helped someone today." The person who was helped knows. Heaven knows. And that is enough. The reward of kindness isn't in being seen. It's in knowing you made a difference. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes sharing kindness can inspire. But before you post, pause and check your heart. Are you posting to inspire, or are you posting to be praised? Are you shining the light on the good deed, or are you shining it on yourself? Because intention always matters. And in this world, what we need is more quiet givers, not performers. The truth is, when you make kindness private, it strengthens you. It shapes your character. It teaches you to give without expecting back. It teaches you to love without recognition. And it fills your spirit in a way no human applause ever can. Applause is temporary, but the joy of knowing you lifted a burden, that joy lingers forever. So in this year, keep your acts of kindness private. Be the kind of person whose generosity doesn't need to be seen to be real. Be the one whose love moves quietly, whose compassion is remembered not because it was displayed, but because it was felt deeply. And just like kindness, there's another part of your life that grows stronger in privacy. Your intimate relationships. Because love that constantly has to be shown off is often love-seeking validation. But love that is protected in silence, that's the love that lasts. The next thing you should protect in 2025 is your personal relationships. Whether it's your marriage, your partner, your engagement, or someone you're just starting to date, not everything belongs to the public. Because love isn't proven by how loud it is online, but by how safe it feels in private. The strongest bonds are not the ones broadcasted everywhere, but the ones grounded in trust, respect, and quiet commitment. We live in times where every date, every argument, every anniversary ends up on display. And while sharing little moments isn't wrong, oversharing can be dangerous. The more you expose your relationship to the world, the more you invite the world into something sacred. And with the world come opinions, comparisons, and sometimes temptations that we're never supposed to enter. I've seen couples who looked perfect online, sweet photos, long captions, endless declarations. But behind the posts, there were arguments, insecurities, broken trust. And when things fell apart, the same audience who once cheered was the same audience who judged. Privacy could have protected them. Privacy could have given them space to heal, to rebuild, or even to move on quietly. But by oversharing, their love became a performance instead of a partnership. Think of love like a flame. When you cover and protect it, it grows steady and strong. But if you expose it too much, the winds of opinion and comparison can blow it out. Love doesn't need to be flaunted to be real. It needs to be nurtured by the two people who hold it. That's enough. My advice is this. In 2025, guard the sacredness of your love. Keep your arguments private. The world doesn't need to see your healing. Keep your struggles private. They don't need to be turned into gossip. Even the sweet moments, cherish them, live them, but don't always feel you have to prove them. Because what makes your love real is not how many people liked your photo, but how many storms you survived together when no one was watching. And if you're single or just dating, protect your season too. Not everyone needs to know who you're talking to, where it's going, or what you're planning. Too many outside voices can cloud your clarity. Wrong opinions can make you rush doubt, or even walk away from something that could have been good for you. So protect your heart. Protect your journey. Protect your relationship. When I got married, I learned something very important. Our relationship wasn't for the world, it was for us. And the moment we stopped trying to prove it to anyone, peace entered. Because love that always needs approval will never be satisfied. But love that's secure in itself doesn't need outside validation. It only needs commitment. So in 2025, keep your intimate relationships private. Post less, protect more. Prove less, nurture more. And remember, when love is true, it will shine naturally. It won't need an audience. Because it's not the world that makes your love strong. It's your silence, your respect, and your protection that make it last. And just like your relationships, there's another powerful part of life that loses its strength when you share too much. Your personal struggles. Because not every wound is meant to be displayed. Some battles are designed to be fought quietly, healed in prayer, and revealed later as testimonies when the time is right. The sixth thing you must keep private in 2025 is your struggles, because not every battle is for public eyes. Not every scar should be shown. Some hardships are sacred journeys where God is walking right beside you. And if you share them too soon, you might invite the wrong voices. Voices that weaken you instead of giving you strength. We live in a world where people post every disappointment, every heartbreak, every moment of pain for others to see. But the truth is, not everyone who watches your struggle cares. Some will gossip, some will judge, and sadly, some may even smile at your suffering. This is why you must learn the discipline of silence when you're in the middle of a fight. Silence does not mean weakness. Silence is strength. Silence is protection. Think of it like a wound. When you cut yourself, the first thing you do is cover it. You don't cover it because you're hiding. It's so it can heal. If you keep exposing it to dirt, it gets infected. Your personal struggles work the same way. If you expose them too often, you risk infection from other people's careless words, their opinions, or even their judgments. But when you keep them private, you give yourself a chance to heal in peace, to recover with strength, and to grow without unnecessary noise. I remember when I went through one of the darkest seasons of my life. People wanted details. They expected me to explain, to open up, to let them inside the storm I was walking through. But I realized something important. When you are in the storm, your job is not to entertain an audience. Your job is to survive. And when I finally came out on the other side, healed and whole, that's when I chose to share. And I shared not as a victim, but as someone who overcame. That's the beauty of privacy. It allows you to tell your story from a place of power, not from a place of pain. Now don't misunderstand me. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have people you trust. A support system, close friends, family who truly care. But there's a big difference between seeking help and broadcasting your pain. One leads to healing. The other invites confusion and chaos. Protect your struggle until you are ready. Because your testimony will always carry more power when it's shared at the right time. Here's the beauty of keeping your struggles private. People see your strength without always seeing your suffering. They see the fruit of your life without knowing all the storms you survived. And that's the way it should be. Not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting your process. Remember, even Jesus prayed in the garden in private before he faced the cross in public. Some battles are meant to be fought with God in the secret place, not with the world as your audience. So in 2025, choose silence in your struggles. Cry if you must, but cry in God's arms. Cry in the privacy of your room. Cry with those few people who truly care for you. But don't hand your struggles to the crowd, because the crowd cannot heal you. Only God can. Only love can. Only time can. And when the healing comes, when the breakthrough arrives, when the victory is undeniable, then you can share it. Not as a wound, but as wisdom. Privacy doesn't make your struggle less real. It makes your healing more powerful. Protect your battles. Guard your wounds. And always remember, your scars will speak louder than your pain ever could. And just like your struggles, there is another area of life that gains value when kept private, your finances. Because money managed in silence becomes freedom, while money flaunted in noise becomes a trap. The seventh and final thing you must keep private in 2025 is your financial life. Your income, your savings, your investments, your plans for building wealth. These are not for everyone to know. Because the moment you open that door to the wrong people, you invite envy, jealousy, pressure, and even temptation. Money is most powerful when it is managed with discipline, not when it is flaunted for attention. Today, we live in a world where people proudly display what they earn, what they buy, where they travel, what they wear, and what they drive. But here's the truth. Financial freedom is not measured by what others see on the outside. It's measured by what is quietly sitting in your savings account, in your investments, and in your long-term plans that no one else can see. A luxury bag may impress strangers for a few minutes, but a healthy savings account will give you peace for years. A flashy car may grab attention, but a strong and well-diversified portfolio will carry you through the storms of life. Keeping your finances private protects you from pointless competition. Because the more you tell people what you earn, the more you invite comparisons. And suddenly, money stops being about growth and starts being about proving yourself. But money is not about ego. Money is a tool, not a trophy. It's there to build your life, not your pride. So here's my advice. In 2025, make your financial decisions in silence. Budget quietly. Save quietly. Invest quietly. Let your results do the talking. The quiet millionaire is always stronger than the loud spender. Why? Because while the loud spender is busy showing off what they have, the disciplined investor is quietly multiplying what they own. Think of your finances like a garden. If you tell everyone where your seeds are planted, someone might step on them, ruin them, or even steal from them. But when you plant quietly, water quietly, and nurture quietly, one day your harvest will be so full that it speaks for itself. You won't need to announce your success. Your results will announce you. And I know what some of you are thinking. But isn't it inspiring to share financial wins? And yes, it can be. But timing matters. Don't announce when you're just planting. Don't brag when you've only just started saving. Share your journey when you've built a foundation that cannot be shaken. Share from wisdom, not insecurity. Because when you share too early, people may discourage you, criticize you, or even distract you from your focus. So this year, stop announcing your salary. Stop telling the world what you earn. Stop broadcasting your debt, your financial troubles, or your investment plans. Not everyone needs to know. Instead, focus on building your emergency savings. Focus on diversifying your investments. Focus on making a plan for your money so that every dollar has a purpose and every cent has a direction. Because financial growth is not measured by applause. It is measured by discipline. And discipline always thrives in silence. Wealth is not built in public. It is built in private. It is not built in noise, but in quiet and consistent choices. It is not built in the rush to impress people, but in the patience to secure your future. When you protect your finances, you are protecting your future. And when you protect your future, you are also protecting your family, your dreams, and your legacy. So in 2025, let this be your mantra: less talk, more action. Less showing off, more showing up for your financial goals. Less proving, more planning. Because when your money stays quiet, your life stays peaceful. And when your life is peaceful, success flows naturally. And believe me, success is always the loudest when it is silent. So as we close, let's remember the 7 things we must keep private in 2025. Your dreams, because they need protection before they can grow. Your struggles, because true healing happens in silence. Your next move, because plans are like seeds that need time underground. Your acts of kindness, because real generosity doesn't need an audience. Your relationships, because love grows best away from public eyes. Your family matters, because they deserve safety, not scrutiny. And your finances, because money multiplies better in silence than it ever will in the spotlight. Each of these things is not just about privacy. It's about power, it's about wisdom, it's about discipline. Privacy is not secrecy, it is strategy. And in a world that constantly pressures us to reveal everything, the strongest thing you can do is hold some things back. Keep them sacred and keep them yours. Your peace grows when your mouth closes. Your success multiplies when your focus sharpens. Your future gets brighter when you realize not every detail of your life deserves an audience. Protect your life the way you'd protect a treasure chest. Because that's what it is. Your family, your habits, your money, your dreams. These are treasures. And treasure should always be guarded. So as you step into 2025, be intentional. Choose silence over noise. Choose wisdom over display. Choose peace over pressure. Budget in silence. Plan in silence. Invest in silence. And let your results do the talking. Because one day, people won't remember what you posted. They'll remember what you built. They'll remember the life you lived. They'll remember the impact you made. Guard your dreams. Protect your privacy. Live with wisdom, because your future depends on it. And I believe in you. This is your year to rise, to grow, and to succeed, not in noise, but in quiet strength.